All right. Hello, my name is John Panetti, as Paige has mentioned. We will be beginning our webinar right now on the 3VMS series, voltage monitors and surge suppressor combo. Okay, first I wanted to kind of just talk to you a little bit about three-phase voltage and how it's generated real quick, just to give you an idea, anybody that is not familiar with three-phase. Basically, you have a power station with an electrical generator that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy, basically a set of three AC electric currents, one from each coil or winding of the generator. These windings are arranged in such a fashion that the currents are at the same frequency, but the waveforms are offset to provide three complementary currents with a phase separation of about a third of the cycle, which is 120 degrees. So basically, we're generating three separate waveforms, all offset by 120 degrees. And then when the motor when this voltage is applied to a motor, we can get a full 360-degree rotation. This eliminates the need for, capacitors and a capacitor start motor and things like that in single phase. So this is great for commercial applications and industrial loads where you would have to have a gigantic capacitor if you were using a single phase type of transmission. Power stations will take that voltage and they'll have transformers that'll, change the voltage down to a suitable level to be sent to other power stations that will further condition that till it reaches the end result, which is maybe the factory or the service that it's going to. So what are some of the common issues that you could occur when you have three-phase voltage? Well, you can only imagine you got three individual voltages that are offset by 120 degrees. And so, those things all have to be well balanced. If you have things that are out of balance, or if God forbid you lose a phase, then that throws the whole thing off and your motor can really draw a lot of current. So a phase loss is critical, and it can create a very big problem very quickly for your motor. And contractors are often faced with these issues, over and under voltage, phase loss, phase reversal unbalance, and those things can very quickly damage the motor. For example, just a 5% unbalance between your phases, phase to phase, can increase the temperature of your motor by 50%. Can you imagine what even more of a percentage unbalance can do? So having those three phases in balance, not losing a leg. If you ever lose a leg, then the other two legs are trying to compensate for the voltage loss, and it starts really burning up the motor very, very quickly. So you have to protect your three-phase equipment from these voltage anomalies that occur or can occur with three-phase voltage. Now, voltage surges are another thing that we're seeing more and more of these days, these fast-acting transient events that differ far from the normal voltage anomalies we were talking about before. So a surge, unlike the voltage issues that we were just discussing, is a very high amount of energy delivered over a very short duration. And this type of a voltage spike or surge can really quickly damage equipment that has sensitive electronics in it and so forth. Now, most of your three-phase equipment, a lot of your commercial equipment, almost everything these days have electronic devices in them that are doing some type of a control in the circuit. And, you get surges in there and they're going to take out those electronic controls very quickly. You can get surge events from caused by lightning in the upper atmosphere. You can get surges caused by utility switching. And large pieces of equipment turning on and off rapidly in a commercial application. So sensitive electronics can be damaged very quickly. You can reduce the lifespan of your equipment overall. So this type of momentary fast acting transient, again, is much different than a sag or swelling voltage, and requires something more than just a voltage monitor. It requires a quality three-phase surge suppressor to catch these events. So ICM came up with a solution and leads the way with the solution by offering you a 3 BMS series voltage monitor and surge protector. And what this does is it combines the benefits of both the voltage monitoring and the surge suppression all in one package, and provides a means to break the service voltage for 60 amp services, 60 amp loads. So again, built for high demand and light commercial residential environments. They provide real-time three-phase voltage monitoring along with very high quality three-phase surge protection all in one package. And you can shut down the equipment by breaking that main voltage, which is a big deal. You're breaking that main service voltage in the event that you have a problem with your three-phase voltage. This keeps your equipment running reliably, efficiently, and protected. So let's talk about the product in an overview. Basically, I want you to really bring home here that this is an all-in-one pre-wired device. Okay, so we've often in the past said, hey, you could get a voltage monitor and maybe an ICM 450A or A plus, and then pair it with an ICM 530 or 531, depending on your voltage. And that would give you both voltage monitoring and surge suppression, which it would, but then you could only break a control voltage with the 450A plus. You wouldn't be breaking that service voltage. And also it would require, if somebody did want to break the service voltage, a contractor to install their own little box and kind of put all these pieces together. We do it for you all in one. We supply this with a heavy duty 60 amp 3-pole contactor, which fully disconnects the load. And we picked that range because that covers a pretty wide range of applications, all right, for both 208 and 240 and 480 volt three-phase services. It also includes the ICM 530, 531, our top of the line three-phase surge protective devices, which suppress, and I want to amplify that term, suppress fast-acting transient events, and they are certified to the highest nominal discharge current rating that UL will test to. And what that means is you're going to get a very high-quality surge suppressor that can take many, many hits over time, as long as you don't exceed the limits of the surge suppressor. But it makes it for a very durable surge suppressive device. And what I mean by surge suppress is if we clamp that voltage, that surge, we dissipate the surge as heat throughout the device, and these are thermally protected so that the surge suppressor can take itself out of the circuit if that surge suppressor has been exhausted, without sitting there and just cooking if it didn't have that thermal protection. This is a modular design, so if the 530 or the 450A or any of the parts break down, you can easily take out and replace those devices individually. So modular design with replacement components. This provides you protection that you can trust. You got a very good surge protective device that's protecting 50,000 amps per phase, or 50 killiamps per phase, same thing, 50,000 amps per phase for a maximum of a single event of 150,000 amps. User settable features on the 458 Plus include, for example, anti-short cycling, which will help you, the anti-short cycle delay will help prevent short cycle events. This is all included in our voltage monitor, so in case the power is going in and out and things are shutting on and off too quickly, the ICM will not allow the contactor to close until the delay period is over with. You also have things like percent over and under voltage that are user settable, percent phase unbalance for precision adjustments to any situation that you have an application. There's also a great feature called fault interrogation for non-critical faults, so you don't get a lot of nuisance trips, okay? This control also is housed in a rugged outdoor ready enclosure, a NEMA Type 4X enclosure, which is resistant to rain and ice and corrosion, and is great for outdoor applications, making it an easy device to just put outside next to the piece of equipment and wire right in. It's got smarter diagnostics, meaning that instead of just dummy lights or basic feedback, this has an actual human readable LCD screen that's backlit for low light conditions. You also have a large fault history in there. You have a real-time clock that can tell you what the time and date were for those fault events, which is extremely important when you're trying to diagnose something that's happening at weird or oddball times. For example, I have a customer that was having a problem. He was getting called out at 2 o'clock in the morning every night, or every morning, I should say, because their equipment was shutting down. And, they're like, what's going on? Well, they put a 458 plus in there and he found out that, at 2 o'clock in the morning, some other gigantic piece of equipment was turning on, dropping the voltage below the allowable voltage for his equipment, and it was triggering a safety shutdown. So he could then, fine tune his operation so that that wouldn't happen at that time and he wouldn't have to be called out on a service call. So these are great diagnostics to have, great tools to have. So what are some of the applications and uses for this product? Well, for the HVACR focus, we got rooftop units, all right? This means 3-phase heat pumps and 3-phase rooftop units, split system condensing units and air handlers, walk-in coolers and freezers, and refrigeration racks, and VFD driven fans and pumps. Also on the light commercial side, we have retail, stores and things like that, restaurants, schools, municipal buildings, IT rooms, and ancillary 3-phase loads. We also see these a lot in industrial OEMs, skids needing integration and protection, okay? And also, don't forget, there's the application for marine, pool and spa equipment where 3-phase is present. Now, not all of your marine equipment will have 3-phase, but if there is an opportunity in a big application where you have a 3-phase heat pump or something that's heating a very large pool or space, then yes, it would be there. So what are some of the key features that sets ICM controls apart, makes it your best option for 3-phase voltage and surge protection? Well, it's incorporating the very well-known high performance and durability of the 458 plus. 458 and the 458 plus have been around a long time. They've had a recent update or upgrade in the last few years that's really polished it up nicely, put a new microprocessor in there with true RMS reading and really nice tactile buttons that were not present in the earlier models. So we made some nice upgrades, made them added 1/4-inch quick connect, fully insulated quick connect terminals so that it was more safe to use. And so just a lot of nice little features that were built into it to just make it a much better. We went to more surface mount, making it easier to produce and, surface mount electronics. So just a really nice, solid product. It's been solid really all over the years. I've been here 14 years now, and my goodness, this thing has just been a rock solid product ever since I've been here. I would know, being in the tech support area, I would know, the durability and the reliability of this product is unsurpassed. Also, don't forget, we're using our best superior surge protection as well. The three-phase models carry very good quality, as well as all of our models carry really good quality TMOV technology, meaning thermally protected metal oxide varistor technology. That's the surge piece. That's the little surge piece that does the work at suppressing the surges. The key feature about our products is they're rated, UL listed with a very high nominal discharge current, 20 kA, which is the highest that UL will protect to, or will test to. Now, what does that mean for the customer? What that means is that UL hit this control 15 times in a row with 20,000 amps and it didn't fail. So that means that it's a level of understanding that this is a very high durable product. It can take multiple hits within its range and not be damaged. Like any surge protection over time, many hits over time, eventually the surge protector will wear down. But this rating means that it will wear down slower. It will withstand a higher amount of abuse before it finally gives out. Real-time clock means you're going to have accurate fault event logging. That means you're going to get that nice precision that you're looking for. A backlit human readable display. Can't tell you how important that is. Some of the other models out there that I've seen have dummy lights that are very confusing, and there's an array printed on the front of the control that you got to try to decipher. This is just going to tell you in human readable English, right on a backlit LCD display, over voltage, line phase loss, line phase over voltage, line reversal, you know. So you're going to see the fault and it's going to be recorded for you. So an excellent tool to have when you're out in the field. It also comes housed in that nice NEMA 4X enclosure for durability in harsh conditions, designed for commercial HVAC, data centers, large motor systems, all requiring high voltage protection and surge protection as well. The entire product is UL listed, not just the pieces. This is important. Some of our competitors only have their individual replaceable pieces certified. We have the whole product UL listed. It also comes with our limited lifetime, 3-year, $10,000 connected equipment guarantee. It's assembled and manufactured here in the USA, right in our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in upstate New York. So this is also promoting local economy and supporting our own growth, and which is great. It's also incorporates a heavy duty 60 amp contactor rated for inductive loads and heavy use, much different than some of our competitors' products that only use block relays that may be rated for inductive loads, but not for heavy use. For example, this contactor can withstand up to 250,000 cycles, whereas a block relay may only be able to withstand 5,000 cycles. So this is meant for heavy duty abuse. So what are some of the differences between the 208 version and the 480 volt version? Well, right off the bat, the voltage, right? So the nominal voltage, the 208 services the areas that have 208 voltage. The 3-phase is 208 volts. This is common in more of the light commercial areas, and we have many customer uses for those. And of course, then we also have the 480 volt version, which is the bigger commercial industrial applications. And so there's a great market for those as well. There's a market here for both of these. So because we needed both of them, we had to have 2 separate SKUs here. You couldn't just go with one or the other. You kind of got to have both. Of course, operating voltages then would fall into place where the 208 range is between 190 and 252, whereas the 480 volt version is 400 to 525. Contactor rating, amperage stays the same, but we have to step down the voltage for the 480 volt unit because the contactors coils are both 240 volts. And we show that a little bit further down here, but it's the UL listed surge device on the 208 version, of course, the 530 rated for 208, 240. And then for the 480 volt version, we have the 531 in there. Okay. Again, I mentioned the step down transformer, not necessary in the 208 version, but necessary in the 480 volt version to step down that voltage so we can use the same contactor. And then, of course, the fuse, right? You're going to have a 1 amp fuse in the 208 version and a 0.5 amp fuse in the 480 volt version. What's nice about the step down transformer in the 480 volt version that's not mentioned here is that it has a little circuit breaker on it itself. So basically, if anything goes wrong, you've got a secondary backup for protection where the little circuit breaker on the transformer, on the step down transformer will open if it sees a current beyond, I want to say it's 3.5 amps. So what are some of the specifications that are common to both? Well, they both operate off of the same
You go to the hockey
frequency.
game tonight?
They both operate off of a 60 amp contactor. They both have CC class
Do I?
fuses. Can you please, whoever's talking, mute their device, please? And all people mute their device, please. Thank you. All right, so they all carry the same CC class fuse. They all have surge protection with diagnostic LED indicators for line to line and line to neutral protection modes. They both have short circuit current ratings of up to 200 killiamps. They also both will protect up to 50,000 amps per phase. And they have a nominal discharge current of 20 KA. And again, I bolded that one because that's a big deal. That is really the key factor saying that this is a very durable device that can take many hits over time. And that's the UL rating for that durability rating. So as I mentioned, there's a 3.2 amp circuit breaker in the transformer, a step down transformer. And we see those 1 amp and 1.5 amp fuse ratings for the different models. Let's talk a little bit about the enclosure. Well, this is a really nice weather resistant design because it has this nice weather resistant enclosure. You can see the gasket around there much better than foam gaskets or other types of enclosures. That is a nice rubber around there that really seals it nice. It's made of a very good type of a plastic that is resistant to UV rating, I believe, as well as ice and temperature and water. So it's a very nice IP66 enclosure for the harsh outdoor conditions we see around the country. And it can also be used indoor. Don't forget that, So it's universally acceptable indoor or outdoor. It has a nice compact and robust construction. The compact design and footprint, again, allows for easy placement. It makes it look like a nice, clean installation in what might be a tight space. And of course, everything's in one box. So it's an all-in-one, easy to install product. And the dimensions you can see there are not so bad. They're pretty compact for what's inside that box. Just a note, the enclosure shown in the picture is the picture shows a 3 BMS 60-480, but the same enclosure is used on both models, okay? So what's the value proposition here? Well, first of all, the 3VMS does both, right? It protects against the over and under voltage issues, phase loss, phase reversal, phase unbalance that that you need to protect against when you have three-phase voltage. That's terrible. You gotta have that, right? But on top of that, it also adds that nice extra feature of the surge protection for fast-acting transient surges that you need for all them sensitive electronics that could be inside your unit. And that's really gives you that all-in-one solution. Having one without the other is kind of like only having half the protection. So this gives you, we've been wanting this all-in-one solution for a long time. We've done things like had sales where we paired the two, a 530 with a 450A, but now we've got it all in one box, and this is just a great solution, which has really showed a lot of traction at the trade show, the AHR show that we were just at. Modular design allows for an easy individual component replacement. This is another thing that you can't do, for example, with say something like a product that has a circuit board on it that does all the work. This one, each individual component is replaceable in and of itself. All right. This again helps the contractors to be able to service the equipment without having to replace the whole box. This all-in-one solution reduces time of installation, it protects devices, and you have simple conduit input and output wiring. So it's a very easy product to install, as in contrast to if you had to buy all these pieces separately and put it in your own box and wire it all up, which some people, believe it or not, were doing prior to this solution. It has a universally applicable 60 amp contactor for any load type. Of course, the 60 amp is the limitation for the service full load amps of the product. So looking at the business owner, you're going to get peace of mind that you got full protection, both for line voltage monitoring and surge protection, lower repair costs, extended equipment life, and you got the warranty to back it up. For the contractor, they're looking at, hey, fewer callbacks, easy installation, great diagnostics, and premium protection. That's what because they don't want to go back. They want to put this thing in and walk away and never have to worry about it again. The only time they're going to have to go back is if one of the components fails for whatever reason, or it exceeds its exhausted its limit. Then you just have to maybe go back and replace an individual component. Again, easy to do. So easy, fewer callbacks, reliable diagnostics, premium protection. For the distributor, it's a high demand product. We saw a lot of traction of this at the show. The more people know about this, again, and this is what I'm asking all the salespeople that are in this meeting, get the word out. The more people know the commercial market, the more the commercial market knows about this product, the more you will sell. Trust me, that's the number one thing I get from feedback when I talk to customers that, hey, they call me and say, do you guys got a solution for, I'm losing compressors, I'm in a school and we're losing compressors right and left. Yeah, I got a solution, here it is, So, most commercial applications are just let's, get that word out because it is a high demand product. Premium offering for both voltage monitoring and surge protection, repeat business to the distributor, and a strong warranty and UL listing backing the product up. So the distributor has peace of mind that he's selling a good, solid product that's made right here in the US. We don't have to worry about tariffs and maybe long, lead times and everything else. We can turn product around quickly because we have a vertically integrated facility right here in the US. So in conclusion, what sets ICM apart from the rest? Well, we're leading the pack here with three-phase protection by including both the voltage monitor and the surge protector in a three-phase option, all in one package, which hadn't been done in the past. And we're kind of leading the pack in that by offering this now. An all-in-one integrated solution. So you don't need, there's no need for separate wiring of separate devices. Factory pre-wired assembly, this is important. Nobody wants to have to put pieces together. Some of other competitors in the single phase market, you have to put parts together and wire stuff up, and it's kind of like, it can be done, but it's kind of cumbersome. This, it's all factory pre-wired. So you just got to bring your power in and your load, and that's it. But this reduces the install time and reduces wiring errors. The real-time clock and fault log memory in the 450A Plus is a real good bonus. One of the things that almost everybody I talk to that wants three-phase voltage monitoring loves the idea of having a date and timestamp on the fault so they can do more diagnostics. All right, so this is great for diagnostics and simplifies troubleshooting when somebody has to call in for a warranty or anything, even if they're just going out for a service call. The modular design is great for quick individual part replacements. The high surge capacity of 150,000 amps for a single event and 50,000 amps per phase is great. It runs with some of the best, more expensive products that are out there now. We've compared these over the years to surge suppressors like ABB and Eaton and Square D and Leviton and other ones that are out there, and we are a lot of times better than them, or run right neck and neck with them. For example, we're pretty neck and neck with the Eaton product, which is one of the best out there. So very, very good, high quality surge suppressor built into this product. Superior surge protection design with the TMOVs in there, which we mentioned are thermally protected metal oxide varistors. Those are your surge elements. They clamp the voltage of the rated voltage of the MOV, and they dissipate the surge portion of the event as heat. If the surge is so big that it overcomes that device, it's not going to sit there and cook or melt or do anything like that. It's going to blow a thermal fuse and take itself safely out of the circuit. Again, superior quality, superior safety, high nominal discharge current for durability. You're going to get a really good surge protector there. And that's the reason why it's backed by one of our best warranties, backed by ICM's limited lifetime strong warranty. Again, I don't like to use the term made in the USA, but assembled in the USA with products that are sourced here as to the most ability. But again, built in our vertically integrated facility in upstate New York. It's a UL listed device, and that is the UL listing agency file that can be looked up, and you can see that it is a UL listed device. So that concludes our webinar, but if there's anybody that has any questions, we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions now, that would be great. I see Keith has his hand raised. Go ahead, Keith.
What is ICM's policy on us taking the 60 amp contactor out and putting in, say, a 70 or 80 amp contactor? Does ICM have a opinion on that? What will it do to the UL listing?
So yeah, we do not recommend that because you've got to remember that, well, you have to be very careful what you're putting in there, because the voltage monitor is what's turning on and off the coil of that contactor. And if you put in a contactor where its coil is above the rating of that 458 plus, that would damage the ICM 458 plus. And also, when you start getting contacts that are bigger, then the wires that are used are not suited for those applications, because this is a pre-wired device. On top of that, the fuse is not rated for that application. So I'm sorry, that is not something that we would recommend you do.
Then we had a question from Dave as well, or a comment rather. So the 3VMS product will protect and monitor, but will not lower or increase voltage or supply to the system to stay in a good electrical operating range like a buck boost transformer.
That statement is correct. We do not condition the voltage, but we protect against the equipment being damaged from the voltages that could have a phase loss, phase reversal, phase unbalance, but this is not a voltage conditioner. Correct. And yes, the reps can get a copy of the presentation. Paige will tell you.
Yep, Christopher, I'll get that out to you after this meeting today. And then on top of Dave's comment, do you have a product that does do this?
At the moment, we do not. There is some talk of a single phase version of a bucking transformer, but that project has not been, not been approved.
John Kay?
Yeah, this is John Capone with ICM. Just like to share a little observation that I've learned with this product. And it is really to take a step back a little bit and think of it in terms of a broader spectrum. We're not just protecting the equipment, we're also protecting the business the equipment is attached to. I handle the Southwest, so we're a lot of very warm weather states. So for example, let's say a large unit goes down and you're in a manufacturing environment and now you lose productivity or people have to go home because it's too hot to work. So what has that done to the business? Does that impact, what they can produce? Does that impact their revenue? Do they take added costs because to get caught back up again, they have to do overtime? If it's in a retail environment, and if you're down for too many days, do they lose shoppers? Simply because they come into the store and it's too hot and they're not going to spend the time. Is it in an environment where you've got perishables? It could be food, it could be cosmetics, it could be chemicals. So when you go to justify the product, you oftentimes have to look beyond just protecting the equipment. What is that equipment doing to that business? If that equipment is down for X amount of time, what's the negative impact for that business? And so oftentimes when you look at it, it's not just on replacing a board or on replacing a compressor. If that business has been down for any length of time, it could have a negative impact on their P&L. So now they're not only getting their air conditioning fixed, they've also lost revenue. And that's almost a double hit. So when you're all out and you look at applications for this and where it fits, try to look at a little bit bigger picture to help justify to the business owner, the building owner, the tenant, why it's so important. And it's not just the equipment, but it's keeping their business up and running at a common level all day long so they can do what they do. And they don't have to make any changes to their business model to overcome their equipment not being down for X amount of time. Something I picked up on the West, I thought that would be helpful to help people take the conversation beyond just the equipment and how it impacts the business.
Thank you, John. That's great input. In fact, I just received a call, I think it was yesterday, where there's a ice cream manufacturer that was, they wanted some protection for their freezers. So can you imagine if, a piece of equipment and it went down like that and you all lost all of your ice cream, because it'll melt real fast if the freezer's not up to the temperature. So yeah, that's absolutely great feedback. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to add or ask questions on? All right, well, if you think of something, you're more than welcome to send tech support an email at info@icmcontrols.com. You can also reach us at the number provided. Or you can, contact us at our 800 number, 1-800-365-5525. All right, well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions, again, if you think of some, please give me a call at 1-800-365-5525 or send an email, info@icmcontrols.com. And we thank you very much for joining us and taking the time to learn about our new product.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you.